Welcome back to the day 8 roundup on my Elvance medication for ADHD. And we took a step up today. We started taking the big boy medication. So I went from 30 meg to 80, not to 80, I went from 30 to 50 meg today. And I think I spoiled it for myself. You'd have seen from my previous videos, if you've watched them, I sort of built up this little hype and I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready to go up to the next level. I think I was feeling great the middle of last week, and then I dipped down a little bit and I was all ready to take a little bit more, and then I was going to feel great again. And the anticipation and the expectation was there, and it didn't come to fruition. In fact, I just felt normal today. And now I come to think of it, I was actually a bit tired. And I don't know if I mentioned on the last video, but something that I have noticed recently is there's been no crashes for me. And I'm pretty sure this is a common ADHD trait, but we get energy crashes, particularly, I know for me, if I have caffeine, I'll start to get an energy crash later on. So maybe like 3-4 hours after, I'll have a big energy crash. And I haven't had that this week, although I've purposely brought my caffeine consumption down, so maybe that's had something to do with it as well. But today I actually felt a bit tired. Now, these are always tricky ones to gauge, aren't they? Because I had a really busy weekend at work. I worked some long hours, I was up late, probably put in like 14, 16 hours over the weekend each day. So yeah, it was a bit of a hard one to gauge. Maybe it's just a combination of those. But it was a bit underwhelming today, more so because I had such high expectations. Now, it's got me thinking about the medication. I think if I do continue to feel just like this and it doesn't get any better, then I will stop taking the medication after this month, or I might even give it one more month. There are still some big positives though, so I am still feeling like I can focus in. It's almost like I was expecting it to be this like mind blowing thing where my mind completely switched up and I was just able to focus on whatever and my mind wasn't cluttered. Which sort of is the case, but my mind's still very cluttered. But I've got the ability just to focus in and concentrate on that one thing. Now, it's a bit of, I almost feel like my mind's a bit more cluttered, which is bizarre. But I've got this like switch where I can just focus in on certain topics. But I think the long and short of it is it's not been like a remarkable change whatsoever. Now, we have got to remember back to the start of these like day in the lives where I think the first 3 days I didn't really feel much. I felt very stimulated, but I wasn't getting a lot of the other good effects. And then it wasn't until it must have been the first day, so it must have been day 4 or day 5 of the first week that I really started to feel the effects. So I don't want to put too much anticipation on it, but maybe that's what's going to happen again. So yeah, I think that's it. It's going to be a nice, short and sharp one today, I think. There's not a great deal to talk about with regards to how I'm feeling for medication today. But it might just be I'm having a bit of a tired day, and that's maybe had a bit of an impact on it, and that's normal, isn't it? My sleep was a bit broken last night, so who knows? But one of the exciting things is I've put a YouTube video onto the internet, so I've been recording these videos for quite some time and backlogging them to make sure this whole thing here isn't just like the latest type of focus of mine. But I've done it today. There's a video online. I think it actually went on yesterday, but as of today, there's going to be loads and loads of videos going online, like these daily, are they called vlogs? Whatever they're called, catch-ups, day in the life, oh, who knows what this thing's called. But this style of video is going to be on, and I will run these consecutively. And then I've got other videos that I've had on backlog for quite some time, so they'll be dropped into the mix as well. So quite good. I feel really good about it. It's almost been like therapeutic, and I've been watching the video back, and maybe it's just like an age thing where finally, I think when you're younger you get a bit like cringed out by yourself, don't you? But now maybe I'm going to start accepting of I am who I am, sort of thing. But yeah, so that's all good. So if you got this far, if you're on day 8 like you are now, hopefully you've got enough momentum, and I've still loads more videos to come. Hang on in there. Hopefully I'm not talking too much dribble, but please do comment down below if you've had a similar experience or you've had a better or worse experience than me. it's interesting because it seems that everyone else that I spoke to has had such a positive experience from their meds, but maybe it's just got to give it the test of time. And it's not like I've had a bad experience whatsoever, but maybe I'm just blowing it up. Or maybe I'm just like this bloody stimulant junkie, or because before this it was like drinking loads of coffee or taking loads of pre-workout or using the snus nicotine patches or pouches, just to get like a bit of a legal high as it was. So maybe I'm just searching for that, but who knows. Right, I think that wraps this one up. Probably the shortest one. Has still had a bit of a ramble at the end, but still a lot shorter. So that concludes day 8. Not much to report. Still feeling focused. Full of energy, but not quite as full of energy today. We'll see what tomorrow brings.